And of course, us back here on Earth, we have to deal with the elements, right?
We sure do.
We've got a weather impact alert if you're in West Michigan for strong to severe storms that could start to ramp up while you are probably driving home.
Yeah, and when we start to ramp up our messaging as a weather department of, hey, like, I'm waving my hand saying you need to pay attention to these storms, it's not to scare you. It truly is to prepare you. And I know that that sounds cheesy, but any storm is manageable as long as you have a plan in place in terms of what you're going to do. And with these storms expected to be really fast-paced moving, you need to have that plan in place now. It's not going to be, oh, the severe thunderstorm warning came out. Now let's think about what we should do. Have an action plan in place at this point, and let's time out when it's going to happen so you know where you'll be when these storms are expected to arrive. Right now, our weather ball is currently blinking red as we have warmer conditions ahead and continue to track these showers and thunderstorms in sight. And this is on top of all the rain we've already received, with over a half an inch to even an inch in some locations surrounding the greater Grand Rapids region throughout today. And so we will continue on with opportunities for rainfall into the afternoon and evening hours, with our threat for severe weather confined closer to around 5 o'clock today, and I would say really until about 10 p.m., but possibly a discrete cell or two all the way up until midnight. Main mode of severe weather that's going to be possible: wind damage and an isolated tornado risk. And again, I already gave my whole spiel on how you need to stay weather aware and have a plan in place. You can see we're on the leading edge of the warm front right now. We're going to get into this little bit of a sweet spot right here, right, as this low pressure system continues to move north and east. And within that sweet spot, we're going to really prime up our atmosphere with a lot of warm air. We have struggled a little bit to warm up so far this morning, but that's as anticipated. The real push of warm air is expected after 2 o'clock. And then for us here in the greater Grand Rapids region, we'll really start to notice it closer to 6, 7 o'clock tonight, just out ahead of this line of storms crossing Lake Michigan. So this is 4 p.m. You can see it headed our way. It makes itself to the Lake Michigan shoreline between 5 to 6 o'clock. It then works its way into the greater Grand Rapids area from 7 to 8 p.m. And just as quickly as it enters, it exits our region between 9 to 10 o'clock tonight. And then here's why I have that little bit of a buffer window, right, for us to potentially see storms as late as up till midnight tonight, because we could see a discrete cell or two following that main line of storms before we officially return back to drier conditions headed into your Good Friday. Friday itself is anticipated to see decreasing cloud coverage throughout the day, so lots of sunshine to round out our afternoon, and temperatures somewhere in the 50s. Still a little bit of uncertainty in terms of how warm those temperatures will actually get, but additional thunderstorms will follow that up on Saturday. Not necessarily anticipating severe weather on Saturday. Here's a look at our projected rainfall totals. Now, I want you to take this with a grain of salt, right? Because this is a model trying to understand thunderstorm activity. And what it's picking up on here is not, oh, Big Rapids, you're going to exactly see 2 inches of snow. That's not really what model runs do when it comes to precipitation forecasts like this. What it is saying is that some of these thunderstorms are going to have some embedded heavy rainfall in them, and that it will likely be north of 96 if that happens. And now you might be thinking to yourself, okay, it's not going to be all that bad south of 96, but this is where a lot of the energy is. So even though they may not have as much heavy rainfall embedded in their storms, that is where I do anticipate most of the potential for wind damage, as well as a brief spin-up tornado. Storm threats, that's always the big question. What type of severe weather could we see? Well, because this is moving through as a line of storms, we're going to say our highest risk is going to be for that 60+ mile per hour wind gusts. The Storm Prediction Center actually used some really strong language in their recent messaging to us this afternoon, saying there is the potential for some of the kinematics, and that's really just the science within these storms, right, to trigger 60 to even 80 mile per hour wind gusts embedded within these. And so that's why we've got team coverage tonight. We've got Blake, Amber, and Colton all here this evening to ensure your safety. And I'll be back tomorrow morning to follow up whatever's left of this storm, right? So we've got a small chance for a spin-up tornado. And then, of course, that heavy rainfall that we just noted, especially for our northern counties. The wind profile is going to be strongest just ahead of that cold front. And then we will still see some breezy conditions in the wake of it throughout your Friday morning and into the mid-afternoon hours. But those start to subside Friday night. And just as we get sunny and quiet, once again, we are back at it with another round of showers. The good news about Saturday's storm is at this point in time, and we could still iron out the details of this, I don't necessarily foresee severe weather with Saturday's storms, but I do foresee a couple thunderstorms embedded within it, but nothing is screaming to me severe weather at this time. Then into your Easter Sunday, 44 degrees, so colder in the wake of that system, breezy outside still, some sunshine possible, but fair amount of clouds. Remember how yesterday felt? That's a lot how Easter's going to feel.
Yeah.
The rest of your 13 on your side, 7-day forecast showing off once we drop into that cooler temperature profile on Easter Sunday. We kind of stick there through at least Tuesday and then generating a good amount of warmth for the back half of next week. And Tanner, a lot of kids starting spring break, and this is not the spring break forecast I want to bring them, but hopefully by the end of next week, we'll get some warmth in there.
I've always said, though, a 55 and sunny is vastly different than a 55 and cloudy. So
100%.
maybe you will get a little UV involved
Absolutely.
in there.
Tomorrow afternoon, make some plans outside.
Yeah, exactly. But also remember, stay weather aware today because you guys will be tracking it
Yes.
all day long. On 13 Plus as well, we will be tracking these storms. We're going to have a stream as the storms are happening to keep you safe and informed. And of course, we're going to be live during our 5 and 6 o'clock newscasts tracking the latest.